So you like your hit pad medium sized with a custom case out the box, a metal base, acrylic top to add your own custom artwork, low profile Keychron optical switches, a USB pass-through port for Xbox and PS5 compatibility, tournament switch, directional and SOCD switches, and programmable function buttons. Then you'll like the SpeedyLabs LightFox. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we got the SpeedyLabs LightFox. So we've got the box open. You can see it comes in its own custom case right out the box. So we'll open this up here. What do you get? So you open it. Here you have your install tool here, ready to go. You have your instructions and your diagrams. Go to that QR code. It has everything you need to get started. We have our controller here, so we'll take this out. And here we have the custom case. So this case is really nice. It feels like a standard, heavy duty GoPro case. The foam in here is really dense. You can see the base is really nice. This is and handled really nice right out the box. So as soon as you get it, you can carry it around, you're ready to go. Very nice. So here we've got a controller. It's really nice here. So it has, again, a nice metal bottom here. It comes with the grip pre-installed, ready to go. This is, fully metal and aluminum. It's very durable. You can hold it. It feels really nice and weighted in your hands. It has the acrylic top on top here, so your artwork, you can easily take off the little screws here, and they're very easy to get off with the tool that comes with it out the box. You just lift this up, install your artwork, and then seal it back up. You can do all that printing on their website, and they have the templates. You can print your own designs right out the box. And you can see the artwork that I did here. I went with the Black Myth Wukong, but I did like a lady fox instead, so it came out really nice. I really like it. We got our SpeedyLabs LightFox here on the bottom. We have our custom switches already installed. So out the box, this comes with Keychron red optical switches on here. So this is an optical switch control. This is not your standard Kailhs where you push the button and it activates, or your cherries, or any of the other type of switches. These are light switches. So what makes this pad special is it comes with optical switches. So those who've never heard of this before, there's the Razer Kitsune, and there's maybe a handful of others. And instead of having your larger switch where you push the switch down to activate, or your low profiles, again, you're pushing an actual switch to activate. Here, it's using lights. So when you touch these here, for lack of a better word, you're using almost like a laser light to tap and get very fast reaction times, and it activates the board to activate your movements and move very fast. It plays really nice. I like playing with it. I had a really good time. The snapback, I actually took off the stock reds and I put on some blacks, and they feel much better. So if you're looking for something else, I would definitely say take this apart. It's not hard to do. Lift the acrylic off, lift the artwork off. You'll get to a layer of metal, and these switches clip onto that metal thin layer. And you just snap them right out. You put the new ones, snap them right in, and lay it back on. You won't have any issues. So the issue I did run into was, as I was taking them off and putting things back in, they're in pretty tight, so I didn't realize there's a metal, they're attached to a metal plate. Well, that plate bent a little bit, and I say bent, it's not broken by any means, it bent taking them out. So when I put it back, it was kind of humped and warped right around here. So I was pushing all the buttons, but these two would not work. So I thought I did something wrong. I was like, what did I do wrong? So I took it all back apart, and so I realized, okay, no problem. When you put it back together, bend it up like this. So make sure this part is lower and these two are a little bit higher. And you'll know it's a small bend, but enough where it's like that. When you screw it down, it'll be like this. When you screw it, it'll lay flat, and all the switches will activate and connect. You won't have any issues. I've been using it ever since I had no issues, and it's been working just fine. Just something to be aware of that I ran into. So next, let's do a sound test. So along the top, we have all of our home and start buttons here on the very top. We have our other L3 and everything else right there. We have two custom function buttons that you can program to whatever you want them to be. Here we have a boot cell button that you'll really never use, but this is not a turbo button, so don't confuse this with other pads. This is for when you have issues, you can use this boot cell to kind of do different things. So here on the top, you have your directionals, so you can change it to left, right, or a D-pad. You can control all the directions right here in the top. Next, you have your SOCDs. You can change all that on the fly, just the switch of a button. And you have your tournament mode right here, where those that don't know, if you're playing in a tournament, if you push home or start any button you should not press, you do not get a rematch. You get to redo that round. So this way you can lock that out. You won't accidentally push any buttons except for the buttons to play and fight. This is really nice. Let's go around the pad, right? So this pad here has a screen right on the front. It has your button layout here, all your action buttons there. On the bottom, we don't have anything on the bottom. On the left-hand side, there's nothing there. On the top, we have our USB C power and our pass-through port. And on the right-hand side, there's nothing there. What we do have, though, is this band here. So what this is a metal bar. This is part of the metal frame. This is the manager cable. So everyone who's watching my videos, you've seen my cable manager taped on right about here, right? But with this device here, it comes with this pre-installed. You just take out the Velcro, wrap it around your cord, and that way if you step on the cord or if you're anywhere, you won't accidentally break your port. It's all managed and tied nice and tight to your controller. It's really nice. And what's nice also is these keycaps. These are standard aftermarket keycaps. I was able to change the colors out. They come with black out the box, which are really nice, but I went ahead and tried something different. So I went with the blue and the white just to match my artwork, and they came out really well. They're very easy to get off. Just use your standard switch pullers, pop them right off, and they're easy to install. So this pad also allows you to do custom colors. So you can go into settings on the pad here or in the web's configurator and customize all the colors and settings you would like to make it look the way you would like it to look and pop and feel the way you want it. So it's really nice. My pad came out the box with firmware 078 of GP2040. They do have 079 on their website. This is a custom firmware, and most of the pads that I find that use their own physical buttons do come with custom firmware. So you just download it, install it, and you'll be good to go. It's very easy to do, and you'll be all set. They also have a website and a wiki page and a Discord page, so everything you need in the community to help you with any issues you may run into to get this up and running. And out the box, it works just fine. You won't have any issues, but if you do, they have plenty of support there, and it's really nice. So my thoughts on the pad, like I said, I really like this thing. I like the switches. I didn't really know what to expect when it came to opticals and compared to what I'm used to playing with the low profile switches, but they felt right at home. Again, when it out the box, the reds, they were fine, but I've handled so many switches at this point that I've come to find that I prefer the Ghost and Wind engines and the Kailh low profile. Also the Speed Silvers and the Cherry. So there's certain switches that I like, right, and the way they feel. And out the box, these felt like standard reds. And again, the reds feel just fine. Everyone loves them, but once you felt something different, you kind of turn to like them. So for me, they're a little mushy, but that's just because I felt other switches. So out the box, it feels great. I've switched them out for the blacks, and if you're looking to switch, I would recommend the blacks as well, and it feels really nice. These are a clicky type of switch, whether you go red or black out the box, so expect that. But the blacks they just feel nicer to me. It snaps back faster, and I really like the black, so that's my personal preference. And when it comes to the spacing on this pad, I like the way this feels like your standard 3D printed pad. The spacing is just right. They're not too close together or too far apart. These are smaller buttons across the top and one large on the bottom. Everything just feels very well to manage and handle. And if you like a medium-sized pad, you're really gonna like this pad. So next, let's do the paper test, right? So we take a standard piece of American 8.5 by 11 printer paper, and we put this on the pad here. So I'm gonna fold it down one way and down again, so some thirds, put it right on top. And you can see when I put an adapter here, it is roughly that much paper and an adapter in height. Even here, the USB head, it's basically that big. And when it comes to width, it's basically one adapter down, roughly 2 adapters across with a piece of paper. So it's roughly that wide. And why would you do this? So if you're at home and you don't know what this is gonna feel like, put this piece of paper on your lap, put it on the table, and play like this. And this will let you know, is it gonna fit on your lap, will it fit on your table, what it's gonna feel like at home in your space. All right? So how do you connect to your console? If you're on Xbox, you'll use the Brooks Wingman XB3, the Mayflash Magic X, and when it comes to your booter, you have your Mayflash MagicBoot for Xbox. And if you're on PS5, you have your Brooks. This is the Wingman FGC. You have your Mayflash Magic S Ultimate. You have your All FightSticks boot device. You have your Mayflash MagicBoot, and you have your Coxmox Hot 42 Booter 5. So to connect to your console, you just take your cord here, take your adapter, connect it right to the end, plug this right in your console, press the home button, and that'll activate and you're ready to go on your Xbox or PS5. Now, if you read your instructions, it'll tell you to take your adapter and plug it into the pass-through port here on the top. Now, I don't do this. You can see this is already wobbly. If you have kids or yourself, you're just playing, you're not paying attention, you can easily break your adapter in this port here on any controller. So when I play this way, I'll leave it at the end of the cord. That's where we have our booter devices. The booters are the best way to go. These here, you can take this, just plug it right in the top. You can see there's very small, very flush, it's very tight. You can leave that in there 24/7, have no issues. And when you come to play, you don't need any adapters, just plug the booter in, take your cord, connect to your console, and you're all set. All right, let's get some things on the table and compare. So let's compare this to our 3D printed pads, the pad that I started out on here. You can see that the button layout is essentially the same. The size, this is your smaller size, is your medium, so it's slightly bigger here. It's roughly bigger by, again, about an adapter, roughly 2 adapters wider, right? And when I put this on top here, you can see they are essentially the same height as well, right? So here's our visual. So you can see they're roughly the same width and basically the same height. Next we have the Hot 42 M13. This is made out of metal, just like this is made out of metal. So you can see both of these in the medium class, and they are essentially the same width, right? Even the adapter, this is basically the same width apart. When it comes to height, the SpeedyLabs is shorter by roughly two adapters shorter than the M. You can get a better look there, how they kind of size up in height. So when you're comparing these two, you're really comparing the optical switches to the standard Kailh low profile switches. They both come with reds. This has larger buttons across the whole pad. These are smalls with the large here on the bottom. The layouts are essentially the same. This has your buttons up here on the top. Here are your buttons on this side with the two custom functions in the middle. And you also have your physical switches to change your different modes. They both have a screen, which are the same size. The boot cells here on top, whereas the boot cells on the bottom of this pad here. This pad comes built in with the cable manager. Here I added my own. The size and height, they're essentially the same height. And again, they're both metal. This has the acrylic top, so you can add your own custom artwork. This is a custom vinyl that I made and created that I laid on top, and now this is it's the stick-on adhesive that is stuck onto the top of the pad, and they both work really nice. So comparing the two, that is really what you're looking at when it comes to physical things. When you're playing with them, they both feel really nice. It's just a personal preference on how you like to play, what they feel like. So that's the comparison. Next, we have the FightBox B1. This is my first large pad and technically my second pad that I ever bought. So look at this pad here. You can see this pad, again, is in the medium class. So it is roughly two adapters, not as wide as this pad here. When it comes to height, if I lay it on top, you can see this pad here, it is exactly 3 adapters shorter in height than this pad here. So when comparing the switches, this pad comes with your standard taller MX style switches. So you can see here in the top is high enough where you still get a very low profile, but the switch is a full size switch. This has your Keychron optical switches, so it feels, clicky and nice and low profile. It's very fast to activate and they both feel really nice. But that's a comparison here. This has your large switches all across, your larger buttons all across. These are your smalls, one large, and the smaller buttons there. And when you look at them side by side, you can see the height comparison. And last, we have our joystick, the big boy, right? So if you're coming from a joystick to this pad, you can see going from a joystick to the flat style, it is a noticeable difference. This pad is a full adapter and a head bigger when it comes to width. When it comes to height, you can see here, this is roughly, again, it's really the same. It's a T all across, right? One sideways, one up and down, and that's how big it is compared to a joystick. So this is a lot more compact. It comes with the case. You don't have to carry any boxes or things like that. It's very to get around and very portable, and that's the comparison between the two. This has your larger buttons all across. This is the Mayflash F500. It has your top here, and again, this has your low profile Keychron optical switches, the smalls all across, one large on the bottom, and your pin buttons there. And when you put them this way, you can see the height differences there side by side. So that's the SpeedyLabs LightFox. This is my first optical switch controller I ever tried, and I had a really good time playing with this, and I still use it now. I really like it, and I played on live streams and everything else as well. I love these 2 extra functions here. I was able to program these to hold this and press these buttons here to change my profile. So profile 1, 2, 3, and 4, just holding the button and switching through was really nice. The custom colors for the lights, I was able to switch everything out, and the artwork. So it really has everything you're looking for, and it's a medium size, so it's really compact, and the case is really nice. Right out the box, it comes in the case, so that was perfect. You're ready to go. So I think it's a really good try. If you never tried Optical, I think you're gonna like it. Personally, I feel like the reds are mushy, but most controls come with reds. That is what it is. I switched them out for the blacks, and I like that a lot better. It felt really snappy and really nice. So that was my personal preference. I think you might like that as well. Thanks, SpeedyLabs, for sending this out. Thanks for watching. Bye.